Barrington, what do you feel like happened, I guess, about the last 8 minutes of the first half? You had, I believe, an 8-point lead. They started getting some momentum.
The last minute of the
last eight or so minutes of the first half.
Yeah.
You had the lead. I think it was about 8 points, and they outscored you pretty significantly the rest of the way, and you never really seemed to get that momentum back.
Yeah, I mean, we gave a team that was gave them hope, and then we gave them just room to breathe, and then it allowed them to slow the game down and then play at their pace and play where they were comfortable at, and then we were just playing catch up from there. So we can't let go of the rope. We can't let mental mistakes happen that'll cause a run and give a team hope when we're trying to keep them on the ropes.
It seemed like UCF introduced something of a zone to throw you guys off offensively. What was the issue for you guys to not be able to break that?
We didn't get enough penetration into the paint. In the first couple possessions, we were just passing and swinging the ball on the perimeter, and we didn't get enough paint touches.
For either of you, UCF was 10 of 13 from deep in the first half. How much of that was on your guys' defense versus their offense just making shots?
I mean, we want to take away threes from shooters, and I mean, some of their shooters got off. A lot of their, number 11, Carmelo had 3 in the first half, so that's a shooter on our scout. So some of it was our defense, some of it was shots that we were willing to live. But either way, you can't let a team hit 15 in your home court.
For either of you guys, excuse me, along those lines, you look at the offensive numbers and, you probably have to feel pretty good about this game, shoot over 50%, single-digit turnovers. But you guys have had a few games like that and haven't been able to get it done on the defensive end. Why has this team just been unable to kind of shore things up on that end of the floor?
I would just say we're trying to figure out consistency. It's a big thing in this league. Defense is the thing that's going to win you games, and we're trying to find it consistently for 40 minutes and playing that type of basketball for 40 minutes. We do it in spurts, and I mean, just because we're considered a young team doesn't mean that we can't learn how to play good basketball for 40 minutes. So that's where we got to get to.
Is it toughness? Is it communication? What are you seeing on that end of the floor? Is it all combination? Or?
Yeah, I would say it's a combination. I mean, there's so many different things that go into getting a stop in a 30-second possession that sometimes you can lose a possession off of toughness, sometimes you can lose it off of communication. Just the consistency to do whatever it takes in that possession to get that stop. That's where we got to get better.
I would also add the effort to make multiple plays from all 5 guys on the floor.
Yeah.
For you, Barrington, you had a big first half, but dealt with some foul trouble, which brought you to the bench early in the second. That's happened a few times this season. So I was wondering, from your perspective, how you fight through the whistle and try and maintain the production, even when you have to head to the bench.
Yeah, I just got to be smarter on the floor, not put myself in these positions to have to sit these long stretches and have my team play without me for this long. Because I sat some time on the bench in the beginning of the second half, which was pretty valuable time, and just being smarter will allow me to stay on the floor.
For you guys, felt like Jalen gave you some pretty solid minutes on the bench today. Just kind of what have you seen from him as he's kind of grown into a little bit of a bigger role here?
Yeah, I mean, Jalen has been great. He kind of learned to embrace his role. He plays really hard in practice. He's just one of those guys that comes in every day and just brings a lot of effort and energy into our practices and works hard. So I'm really happy for him that he's getting the time he deserves and the production that we all know in the locker room that he's capable of.
This is the third game in a row where the opposition has hit just like a wild banked three-pointer at a critical juncture late in games. We've seen some of the officiating issues. For your team, because how tough is it? You guys have had good fight all season. How tough is it to kind of keep your chin up and keep fighting when it seems like these little breaks just aren't going your way game to game?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's basketball. Sometimes the ball goes in, sometimes it doesn't. We've just been unlucky, but I think we make sure of our fortune in the 40 minutes. One play doesn't define the game. We don't lose or win the game with one play. So I think we just got to do a better job of playing winning basketball for 40 minutes.
Obviously, kind of
tough stretch for you guys these last few weeks. You have a huge game on Thursday in Ames against ninth-ranked Iowa State. How do you guys stay positive heading into that game and focused?
Just staying together as a team, staying focused on the goal of just getting better day by day, and understanding that it's a marathon. We're just a good stretch of basketball away from really finding where we're supposed to be and really starting to win these games. So in this league, you can feel like you're far, but be close. So we're still where we want to be.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
But I put out the questions that you should.
Is your auto working?
No, it's fine. I deleted the upper one.
Okay.
They're
Don't scare me a little bit.
No, I didn't delete the upper
Well, fingers crossed.
Well, this one looks good.
No, yeah, this will be last. Okay, well, also the Kansas game you're here.
Actually, Katie and I looked at it last night.
Yeah, I slept through it.
Yeah. We did at 9:30 and I texted her that, yeah.
I had a meeting at 6. I got home too.
Yeah, we did meet on the Zoom on Sunday. No, you got my professor, I'm like, yeah, I won't be there. That's fine. Yeah, they didn't. I don't know. Well, we could leave him. I wish we put up Gatorade so they don't think that I take it. I don't know. I wish we could Gatorade. I don't know. But I have no idea. Sometimes it's Gatorade, sometimes it's water. No one tells me. You want to handle that, people?
This is for UCF.
Thank you so much. Do you have more coming?
Yes.
Cool, then we're good. All right, we have UCF head coach Johnny Dawkins, and we'll go ahead and open up the floor to media.
Coach, you guys were down 8 with about 8 minutes to go in the first half and switched up to the 1-3-1 zone, and it just felt like it completely flipped the game. Just kind of what did you see from your guys and just kind of buying into that switch, and why did it work so well for you?
Well, for us, you look at the players they have out there. Tad does an amazing job with his team. Their offensive system, the way they execute, I've seen it for years, so I have a lot of respect for what they do, and he's done. And, really, sometimes, you just throw something different and try and see what happens. And I thought it, for us, the young man, Barrington, he had 18 points in the first half, so we were like, okay, we got to find ways to try to maybe slow him down. And looking through different schemes that we have in our system, trying to figure out what may be something that we can do to kind of slow him down, because he was terrific in the first half. And I thought seeing some of that, was something that we felt we could do a little more of to try to maybe slow him down a little bit. And I thought it was effective against them some.
How confident were you that you would have Stillwell today?
He was still in a position where we weren't quite sure. He had practiced, but it was a situation where he could easily regress. So we were concerned that if he'd feel good enough to play, but he did. He felt good enough, and he was able to come out, and he's big for us because he's like our leader. He's kind of our heart and soul. Him, Themis, and Devin Cambridge, and Riley Kugler. Those guys are those senior leaders that we have. They've done a great job, and so we really missed him, and it was good to have him back.
You guys are obviously able to stay in it in the first half with your three-point shooting. Just kind of how important was that? And did that kind of keep a belief in the huddle that you guys were kind of on the verge of getting back in it late in the first half like you did?
Yeah, the good thing for us is we've, I don't know if it's good or bad, but we've been in these situations a number of times where we've been down and we've kind of had to claw back. And so these guys have shown the ability, when down, to continue to keep fighting. And that's all you can ask from any team is the ability to keep fighting, when you're behind. And I thought our guys did that. And they kept chipping away because they kept fighting, kept chipping away, and gave us, a chance to, be, up 2 at halftime.
Obviously, it's hard coming from Central Florida to Boulder and playing in the altitude, but in the second half when you had multiple guys with 3 fouls, how were you able to play a lineup to keep those guys out of foul trouble and still have production?
Well, I had to trust that, those fouls were, with seniors for me, so I had to trust that they would, understand to have the discipline to stay out of foul trouble and not put themselves in those positions. And then we tried to, take them out timely when we could. We take them out timely for get some rest and to also to make sure they're not in so many situations defensively where they may pick up a foul, and we were able to survive it.
One of those players was with foul trouble was Riley. Obviously,
Yes.
A rough first half, but what did his effort in the second half mean for this team? Obviously, he had the bang 3 at the end, but he had some big shots for you guys down the stretch.
I thought he was terrific down the stretch for us. He's been really good for us all season, and I thought he really stepped up when we needed him most tonight, and that's what you want to see. I thought he and Themis, our point guard, I thought those 2 guards did a great job of kind of, steadying us because, like you said, they had momentum, they were playing very well, and we needed some guys to step up. And a lot of times your perimeter guys are going to have to do that. And I thought both of those guys really, gave us huge contributions, especially in the second half.
You guys face a lot of really talented freshmen across the conference. So just kind of what was the challenge in trying to stop Isaiah Johnson, number 2 for Colorado? It felt like he got going late, but you guys were able to kind of keep him out of the paint, which has kind of been his forte much of the year.
Man, terrific young player. I enjoyed watching him when we were scouting him. He has a chance to be special for what I could see out there. I mean, what he's doing in Big 12 play thus far as a freshman is amazing. I mean, just looking at the numbers he's putting up, looking at the percentages that he's shooting in this league. This league is really tough, man. Every team, top to bottom, and so to see what he's doing says a lot about his. It bodes well for his future. Young man's going to be terrific. He plays with a poise. Doesn't seem like many things out there rattle him. He plays a lot older than he is. I can see that coming from a Riley Kugler or a Themis Falk seniors. I'm looking at him out there as a freshman. It's like nothing's phasing him. I'm like, man, nothing's bothering you out here. So I think the young man's going to be terrific. And I love his team because, a lot of times you have a freshman like him. Sometimes your teammates, can be a little bit, wait a minute, he's a freshman. But that's why I say I love what Tad has done with his group because they're really together. You have a together team when a freshman can do what he's doing and your upperclassmen, are celebrating it and they're helping to contribute. And that's why I know they're going to end up being a really good team.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
Kendra, I have other questions in this progression. I missed one, that was it. Yeah, the question should be in there.
Hey everybody, we're here with Head Coach Tad Boyle. Coach, please start with your opening statement and we'll open up for questions.
Yeah, look, I mean, Central Florida played their tail off tonight. We didn't do anything to slow them down or shut them down by any means. And you guys probably know what I'm going to talk about. When a team comes in your building and shoots 61% and out-rebounds you by 9, and you miss 27 shots and you only get 4 offensive rebounds. So We got to get better.
Obviously, it's the third straight game where somebody bangs in a three at the end of the shot clock in a pivotal situation. But is it at a point now where you can show your guys that we shouldn't be in this situation? Because
Absolutely.
It's kind of the defensive struggles that were persistent, throughout the game.
No question. Yeah, I told them that at halftime. Like, guys, we got 47 points. We're down 2. We score 86 points. We shoot almost 52% from the field. We take care of the ball. We're doing what we need to do offensively, but we're just not good enough defensively. One-on-one, the whole game plan tonight was we had to have really good sound ball screen defense. We did none of that. We tried 3 different ball screen coverages. None of them worked. The other key was to keep the ball in front of us. Just keep it in front of us, and we couldn't do that. A lot of their threes came as a result of us playing in rotation. And so we don't keep the ball in front of us. Our ball screen defense isn't good enough, and they make 15 threes.
Did you feel like a lot of them were uncontested in the first half?
In the first half, yeah, because we were in rotations. Yeah. And, I don't know how many times Kugel's got to just be dribble, rhythm dribble, whaps a 3 before we say, let's get up and pressure him. And make him drive it, and then hopefully get some help. But we didn't do that, so disappointing. This is a winnable game for us, and we played well enough offensively to win. We're not good enough defensively, and we're not tough enough on the glass.
Along those lines, this certainly isn't the first game where afterward we've talked about your offense being more than good enough to win a game, and the defense just not being up to snuff. How frustrating is that for you over an extended stretch? Defense obviously is kind of...
For a coach that prides himself on being able to coach defense and have had teams here over the last... I'm not saying every team. The first team I coached, we were awful defensively, but we could win this game 100-96 or 95. We were really gifted scoring. This team is too, but not to the extent that team was. But we've had, generally speaking, teams that will compete on that end of the floor, and that's why we've had success. Now some team, not every team. We had 2 teams with losing records that weren't very good defensively, but it's frustrating. It's really frustrating because sometimes I feel like it means more to me than it does to them on that end of the floor. I know these guys want to play good on offense. They want to make shots. They want to make plays. Offensively, these guys, got no issues with them. I really don't. As long as we're sharing the ball, moving the ball, and getting great shots, which that's all you can ask for, but we can't stop anybody.
Along those lines also, for a coach that, wants to see that incremental improvement throughout the course of the season, are you any better defensively now than Colorado State?
No, I think we are in stretches. Now, tonight was a step backwards for sure. But I thought against even West Virginia and even Kansas, in stretches, I felt like we were making some improvement, So, but today was like, not so much, and it's just that grit that's like pound the table, get in a huddle, like, guys, we got to fix this. I feel it coming from our coaching staff, but I just don't feel it coming from our players. And until it comes from our players, because we can't be out there doing it. We can come up with game plans. And I think, we've got some coaches on our staff that have been around that are really good. And but we're just not good enough on that end of the floor yet. And we got to make that jump. And until we do, these losses will keep mounting up.
Does it feel like when you do have some offensive lows and struggles, that it translates over to the defensive end? The only reason I asked that is because it felt like, when UCF switched to that 1-3-1 zone late in the first half and your offense went cold a little bit with a couple turnovers, then it kind of really swung the momentum for UCF, and you guys weren't able to recover. Is that kind of translating?
They went to the zone because they were struggling to guard us man to man, right? I've done that this year, but you look at the runs we made against Texas Tech at home, West Virginia on the road, Kansas. Like, we've made our runs when we've said, okay, enough with the zone, let's go man. So tonight they said, yeah, well, enough with our man, let's go zone. They were doing it to slow us up, and it did slow us up. But I looked the first 2 possessions of the second half. We got great looks. We got a wide open shot in the lane, it didn't go in. Got a shot at the rim, didn't go in. So that's going to happen. And basketball is a game of runs. You're going to go on some lulls offensively. Even good teams are. But the problem with us is we can't make other teams have those lulls offensively. And in the first half, we had 0 kills. And a kill, again, is 3 stops in a row. 0. Our goal is 3 in each half. So just not where we need to be. And I keep talking about collective pride. We just don't have it.
Jalen is getting more playing time, and he looks like he's
Yeah.
taking a big step forward. What are you seeing out of him?
Yeah, Jalen's a good defender. He's a willing defender. He's a guy who I do think takes a little bit of pride there individually. But Jalen's a freshman. He's not to the point yet where he can start calling out his teammates. I wish he would, because he does bring it, and Josiah does too. Josiah's just really struggling right now in the offensive end. So, but yeah, Jalen's going to be a good player here. There's no doubt about it. And we've got a good freshman group. But with freshmen, you're going to be up and you're going to be down. We need more consistency from our upperclassmen. That's and I said that before the season even started. Like freshmen, they're going to be up and they're going to be down. They're going to be up. They're going to be down. You hope we got so many of them that 1 or 2 of them are pretty. Isaiah Johnson obviously has been pretty darn consistent, but the rest of them are up and down a little bit. But Jalen's making progress, and Alone's making progress. He took a couple steps backward tonight. So, but that's going to come with freshmen. We need more consistency from our veterans. And but it's funny. Our starters outscored their starters by 6. You guys always ask me why I brought Isaiah Johnson off the bench. Well, I'm starting him, and our bench can't score. I know you guys don't ask me that question, do you? Is this on somebody's mind tonight? Was somebody going to ask that? I didn't think so.
It's the first time this year I believe your bench has been outscored by the opposing bench.
Yeah.
And a lot of that's Isaiah.
A lot of that's Isaiah. A lot of that's
But
Isaiah.
even the last few games, your bench is.
Yeah, I mean we've been better. But my point is, like, this team, we need everybody. You look at their bench tonight. The difference, and I talked to Mark Johnson about this in the pregame. Like, your dudes, your top 2, 3, 4 guys, they're usually starting, not always, but ours are starting now. They either have to really outplay the others significantly, or your bench, the guys you bring off the bench, your role guys that, they have to, and their bench tonight played better than our bench. And one of our starters didn't score. Elijah really struggled. He's had some injury issues that, I'm hoping he can fight through, but so look, winning matters. I know that, and I wasn't born yesterday, but man, I got to try to figure out a way to help this team more than I'm helping them right now. And I'm not going to stop trying. I promise you that. And but now we're staring at an Iowa State team on the road that just beat this team by 30. So it doesn't get any easier.
Were the differences in depth a little bit easier to see when there's like 10 minutes left in the second half? 3 of their starters have 3 fouls. Stillwell obviously isn't 100%, and they're still getting up in you guys on defense and applying pressure on the rim.
Yeah, I mean I wouldn't say they're getting up in us on defense. They're playing a zone because they couldn't guard us man. They're just trying to slow the game down and have us take more time. And I thought we again, I go back to you score 86 points, you shoot 52% from the field. Your offense is not the problem. So, we always want to make it a track meet in here when we have the altitude advantage. And but credit Central Florida, they slowed the game down with that zone, and then they were taking time off the clock, and we just weren't able to string enough stops together to get. We made a couple runs, but couldn't get over the hump. And that's kind of been, like you said, the third game in a row, a guy banks in a 3 when we're down 6 at a critical point in the game where we're making a run, and it's happened 3 games in a row now. So there a little bit of that is being snake bit, but there's .6 on the clock. But you let, you know, one of their best scorers catch it. Like, make one of their big guys catch it. You know, but again, we're learning. Got to keep learning. Thank you. Yep.